So is sulfur dioxide, SO2, a polar or a non-polar molecule? Let us start from the basics, and again, we need to start from the elements involved in this molecule. Its molecular formula suggests that SO2 is composed of sulfur atom and oxygen atoms. In this case, we need to look at its properties, especially its atomic number and atomic weight. On this case, sulfur have atomic number 16 and a mass of 32. We'll write it here 16 and then 32. Well, how about the oxygen? Oxygen is atomic number 8 and a mass of 16. Next, we need to determine the number of protons, electrons, and neutrons. Again, these are the parts of the atom. So it's important to know the numbers of these parts, as again, they are involved on how these elements, these chemicals react to other elements. On this case, we have atomic number 16. It means also 16 protons. And again, on a neutral atom, the number of proton is equal to the number of electrons. So we have 16 protons. We also have 16 electrons. And the mass is equal to the protons and then the neutrons. So we know the number of protons, that's 16, and we know the total of protons and neutrons, and that must be 32. So we simply subtract, that's 32 minus 16, that's also 16 neutrons. So again, the protons and the neutrons equals to the weight of an atom. Because again, electrons are massless, so they don't have mass at all. Next, we have the oxygen. So oxygen, we look at its um, atomic number, and the atomic number is equal to 8. So we have 8 protons. Then we have 8 protons. We also have 8 electrons. Again, the number of proton is equal to the number of electrons. And on this case, again, the proton is given and the mass is given. And so we subtract them 1. So we have also 8 neutrons. On this case, again, the protons and the neutron must be equal to the mass, because the mass of an atom depends on the number or the mass of protons and then the neutrons. And next we have the electrons. Of course, it's important to know the electrons because on the actual chemical reactions, electrons are the one involved on chemical reactions. On this case, electrons are also have a special arrangement around the nucleus, and again we do the electron configuration. For that one, we need to start with, again, we have here the different or energy levels. So we start from 1s to s. Again, we have discussed this one. We have 16 electrons. Let's start 1s2. Next 2s2. Next is we have 2p6. After this, we need to go to the 3s. 3s2. And then next we have the 3p6. Let's check our electrons. We have 2, 4, 10, 12, 18, so sobra. And so we have 2, 4, 10, 12. Then we have 16. Next we have the oxygen, that's 1s2, 2s2, then 2p, 2p4. Okay, next we need to know the valence electrons. So valence electrons are the electrons found on the outermost energy level. On this case, the electrons of sulfur has occupied the first, the second, and the third energy level. So what's the outermost shell? What's the outermost layer here? We have the third energy level, and then on the third energy level, we have 2 plus 4, and so we have 6 valence electrons. Again, valence electrons are the electrons found on the outermost energy level. The next for the Oxygen, it occupies the 1s and the 2 and the second energy level. On the second energy level, there are 2 plus 4. We also have 6 valence electrons.